I opened up the men's bathroom.
Oh,
I went in.
What are you doing?
Y'all good?
Taking a little bit too long. Come on out here. They're like, ma'am, this is the men's bathroom. I know, and I got.
And I'm a mother.
Come on. Let's go.
I done seen all of that.
I'm not looking at you. Come on, son, let's go.
Okay.
So it's just that, you gotta get to the level that you feel comfortable and letting them go by themselves and stuff like that. But I think he was maybe about 7, 8, maybe about 8 years old. And then too, that's when I'd be like, okay, you're taking too long. I'd open the door and I'd look in and say, what's going on, So it gets to you, it's your level of comfortability, with that. So that's how I feel about that. But, when y'all say.
Another thing I want to bring up too, excuse me, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, most of you all have boys. Boys are different than girls. Raising boys is very different than raising girls. Mm-hmm. And then there's this trust level that is very different from boys and girls, but you have to be very careful because like she said earlier, if you be too, just say like for me, for instance, I just don't want to let my daughter go. She's 14 years old and I just don't want to I give her some freedom as far as going around in the neighborhood and everything, but as far as going with her friends and stuff like that, I wish I could get to that level of trust to where I can let her go, but it's so very different. But my son, go ahead. Go ahead.
So why do we do that?
That's what I'm saying.
Why do we do that to our girls?
That because
He's a boy. He's all right. But your daughter.
Okay, let me ask y'all this. What if you have a teenage daughter and you are strict on her, but then you want to give them a little leeway, so then you says, okay, I'm going to give you a chance, and then you let them go, and then they mess up. Then what do you do?
But we always say the daughters are more mature than the boys. Why won't we give them the freedom more than the boys?
But what I'm saying is, it seems like each time you let them, say for instance, I'm going to give you a chance to go, and I want you to use your better judgment, and I want you to do this.
How many chances did you have?
I had 0, baby, so don't ask me, because I wasn't allowed to go anywhere.
That's my point.
That's
how I would answer that question. Do you wait until they get 14 or 15 to start giving them chances, or do you start earlier so that they can learn responsibility? If you wait until they 14 and 15, they already got in their mind, like, I ain't going to go out no more anyway, so I'm going to do what I want to do while I'm out and just suffer the consequences.
Well, I can't say that I did do that.
And that makes me scared right there.
Well, so that's why you got to start babying those steps.
Well, I'm going to tell you, like, I do agree, because growing up, you talking about stricter than strict. My mom was strict. Okay, so sometimes you say, I was allowed to go to my grandmother's house. But then there are other things that I wanted to do. And I couldn't understand. I'm like, why can't I go over to so-and-so's house? Why can't I do so-and-so, so-and-so? So one time I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And I did it. Then when I came home, then when I came home, I had to suffer the consequences. There's one thing that I was taught growing up. You got to accept the responsibilities for your action.
Did she let you go back out?
No. I wasn't never going out anyway, so I just said I was going to do it that time anyway.
See, I had the exact opposite experience. See, I had freedoms. And I liked my freedoms, and I knew that if I messed up, I wasn't gonna have them freedoms.
But what you do when you don't get no freedoms at all?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You
get no freedoms at all.
Then you take them when you can get them, and that's how
you go overboard.
No, I did that one. Okay, this is what happened. I said, well, I'm not gonna ask anyway, because I already know she's gonna say no.
Exactly.
So I'm just gonna do it.
And that's every child.
And that's what I did.
That's when
and then when I
did, making you think.
But you know what? I wasn't going to do anything. You know, they were going over there. They wouldn't go play this game. You know, you had to get. Of course.
You remember that good, don't
you? Yeah. We were gonna go and play, and so I already knew we were just gonna go over to so and so's house. It was in Earl, next town. Earl, which was about. I lived in one town, and this town was maybe about 10 miles away. So my cousin, she was driving, and I said I wanted to go. I wasn't gonna ask my mom because I already knew she was gonna say no. I just went anyway. So when I went, had fun, hey. I went, and then when I came back, I had to suffer the consequences. I got a whooping, big time.
But
You know, so what do you know? It's like you want to give the freedom.
I think you have to start at an earlier age.
I agree with that.
So that they learn the responsibility of it when they get there. And then the freedom is not such a big deal when they get to the
Because
hormonal
in your
age.
mind, your parent, you're thinking, you're too old to be doing dumb stuff like this.
But they
we-
still,
we-
but they
we-
be
they're
baby though.
babies. They didn't have a chance to grow to that. So
Right.
then now they're 14 and they messing up, burning stuff, and the potholes is on
Yeah.
fire. Because, I mean, my kids, you know, they're younger, but they know how to cook on the stove. They know how to make food. They make me food. They make their father food because I gradually showed them. And plus my mother, you know, taught by example. She had me stand at the stove and watch her cook every single night at 7 p.m. Every single night. Although I hated it, it helped me so much because now watching by example, I know how I can cook. I can do all of that because I watch. So I didn't break the cycle on that one. I didn't break the chain, but I started them early. I was contemplating, and I knew they were gonna mess up. I knew they might burn their hands and everything, and they did. But I told them, man, the best chefs burn their fingers. So, but you have to keep going. Don't be scared from that. And I just had to keep doing it. But I started at an early age. So now, if I'm not home and they're home by themselves, they'll call me, Mom, I'm gonna make such and such. All right, you know what to do. If you need me to walk you through it over the phone, I'll do that. You gotta start them early.
Okay.
You gotta make them comfortable.
Since you're saying start early and make them comfortable, let me ask this question. At what age do you talk to your children about sex? At what age? I'm talking about because...
Now, what, in detail? I mean, what are we saying?
I think that
Okay.
that's an individual thing.
Yeah.
Yep, some children are way more mature.
Sure.
Some of them are already peeping it. Some
they
come
see
into their
signs.
hormonal process at an early age. A girl may get her period at 9 and another one at 16. So you have to watch your child and to see